Hi, Rollo from Agent & Homes. Today I want to talk to you a bit about some of the add-ons we're trying to develop for you, our agents at Agent & Homes. You know, you've become self-employed agents and you're now working for yourself, you're working your black book, you're working your network, and you're doing your best to earn a living in this kind of new world of the self-employed. Yes, it's great to work when you want, how you want, where you want, but you do need to earn a living. Now, what we've identified is, we have great agents all over London, and we're really proud of all of you who've chosen to work with us. It's an honour. And what we want to do now is not just make sure that you are earning your own fees, but we want to help you earn more fees. Hence why we're now spending a lot of money on touting tools like Spectra, Home Search. We've massively increased our marketing budget. We've got double page spreads in magazines like Absolutely. We're doing something like 40 to 50,000 flyers per month going out over London. And why are we doing this? Because we want to support you. We want to get the Agent & Homes brand out there. So when you're pitching or you're talking to past clients or future clients, they know you, they know you're great, but they also know or have heard of Agent & Homes. And this is going to be the big transformation as we enter our third year. Because yes, from April 2021, we are 3 years old. And it's just fantastic what we've achieved in this time. Looking back from the tiny little office that Bob and I and Ed started in to our second office to where we are now is amazing. And I am so grateful for all your support. So one of the big investments we are doing this year is client services. So because of how we work as agents, you have an instruction for sales or lettings and you launch it to the market. And you might get 20 people who call for that lettings instruction. The only one who really gets you buzzing is the one who makes the right offer and does the deal. And it just means there's 19 other people which have been left. And that's fair enough because you're different to the high street agent. You don't have 19 other properties to service those people. You have one instruction out there at a time that suits those people. And a lot of you have asked us, how can I have access to other agents' applicants? So we've always been very clear at Agent & Homes is that properties and landlords and clients belong to you, applicants belong to Agent & Homes and you. And what we now want to do is find a way of making sure that applicants are registered correctly, inputted in the system. So for example, if Tim Lawler has a 2-bedroom flat in Chelsea, and Philip Davenport has a 2-bedroom flat in South Ken, and Charlie has a 2-bedroom flat in Earls Court, and that applicant calls in for, let's say, Tim's property in Chelsea, and it's not right for that person, and they've just come through Moneypenny or voicemail, and Tim's had a conversation with them, and because it's not right for them, he's disregarded them. Fair enough, that's his call. But he's so busy and he's got so much on his plate that he didn't want to have the conversation about, actually tell me a bit more about what you're looking for. What other postcodes would you consider? What other areas? What's your maximum budget? Would you look at a 3-bed, a 2-bed? What's your time scale? And therefore, that person who called in for Tim's flat might actually work for Philip's flat, Charlie's flat, or Valerie's flat. And that's what we're trying to do with client services. So when an applicant calls or comes in via email, they're passed on to the agent to deal with. What will happen is within 12 hours, they get a really nice call, not from a pushy salesperson, from someone who loves property and loves to chat. And they'll just call them up and thank them for registering with Agent & Homes and say, look, you called yesterday because of X person's property. Just want to make sure you've been booked in. So that's great because that just helps us make sure these applicants have been looked after. If for some reason the agent's been too busy to call them back that day, we can go back to the agent and give them a nudge and say, hey, this person called about your property. You haven't called them yet. We get you're busy, please call them. But at the same time, we can then qualify them and try and help you get information if you haven't got it already about their search, their want, their time scale. And then they'll be put in the database and we'll be able to match all your properties against applicants and applicants against all your properties, so you will no longer just rely on leads from Rightmove, Zoopla, Prime Location. And when you're pitching for instructions, you will be able to look for people that, you will be able to look clients in the eye when they say, oh, do you have a list of pre-existing buyers or pre-existing tenants, and not just rely on the portals or on sites like LongRes or asking your other agents, but you'll be able to see yes and go to the admin team and say, look, can you please match my instruction against the applicants on the database who suit that instruction, and we'll be able to do that for you and therefore deliver you new applicants. Further, every person who contacts us via phone, email, social media is a potential. You know, if they're looking to rent a new home, what's happening with their existing home? And if you, the agent, have done a great job and you just might have been too busy to ask them about their question, we will ask them gently, and I do mean gently, kind of real velvet glove approach. And we then might deliver leads, because why is their current landlord, why are they moving? Well, my landlord served me notice because he's decided to sell. Great. And our promise is, if we identify of one of your applicants an opportunity, we will give it back to you first. So let's just imagine Charlie's got someone who's asked about a property, and Charlie, because he's so busy, hasn't had time to ask the questions. And we identify that through a nice conversation with this tenant or this buyer, we get a lead for evaluation either of the landlord or of them, because actually they have a house to sell someone else. We will first return it to Charlie, so he will have first dibs. If Charlie, you know, mainly operates in Earls Court and Clapham, and this property is in, I don't know, Norwood, he might have no interest. And therefore we say, look, no, it's not really my area, I don't know about it. And we're like, fine, Charlie, no problem. And we pass it on to Agent Norwood. And that way, we will start delivering leads for all of you. Also, as you know, we're doing a lot of more brand awareness, as I spoke about before. So now, you know, most days we're getting valuation requests, not off sites like Rightmove, Zoopla, where people are actually coming to us and saying, I have a property, I would like a valuation. People are receiving our tout letters, our flyers, are seeing our social media, are seeing our adverts in magazine, and again, they're calling us and saying, hey, I'm thinking of selling, can I have a valuation? So what we're doing is, we are now, the client service department is also qualifying those people. So instead of just saying yes, we're having an intelligent conversation with them, really understanding about their asset, if it's lettings, you know, what's it currently let out for, the tenant, what type of person do they want, if it's for sales, again, description of the property beforehand, flat, maisonette, house, 3 beds, 4 beds, garden, where, and we will then be able to deliver in rotation to the agents operating in that area. Our aim is to try and deliver to all of you at least 3 to 4 valuations a month to complement your black book. And that's just going to be fantastic, because it means that, you know, you will know that you will then be able to have passive income. And it's not just about working on network. Us, the brand, Agent and Homes, will start delivering you instructions. So I am super, super, super excited about client services. I think it's going to be a really good tool. But I promise you I'll be watching it closely, because I don't want your people you're talking to get alienated, and it's not a hard sell. What we will never do is call your landlords or your vendors. That's down to you. And if you want, we can help you with training, because honestly, if you have a landlord at the moment, the odds are that landlord has got three or four friends who are also selling a property. They might even have a buy-to-let portfolio, and you've got to ask them that questions. You know, what else do you have? And that's, again, a whole other conversation of kind of working your current client, not your network, but people who've chosen to work with you. So for example, you know, when you've done a sale or a let, it's really important to point out to your landlord or your vendor that you've done a great job for them. Ask them for a review. And when you're asking them for a review, say, look, you know, what would really matter for me is if you could tell your friends, you know, next time you hear someone, you know, who's looking for an estate agent, who's got a property on the market, to recommend me. And trust me, word of mouth is one of the most powerful tools. So client service is up and running. Tanaz is leading it, helped by Rosie. We're looking for some other team members to join this department as we grow it. And our aim is to build data into Nomin so we can deliver matching for you on your existing properties, matching for you on your hot applicants, but also, more importantly, deliver you valuation leads for you to go and pitch to. More and more agents are now benefiting from the investment we are putting into the brand and which you have all helped grow. So again, thank you, and let's get client services up and running.